Hey, Russell here from Adelaide West Physio and Pilates. The question is, what the hell is pathoanatomical thinking? What's a pathoanatomical approach? Pathoanatomical approach, put most simply, is when you're looking for a structure at fault. And this is probably the default way of thinking of most doctors, physios, chiros, osteopaths, podiatrists, blah, 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 looking for one particular structure, one thing that's at fault, one thing they can move or massage or inject or adjust or click with a trigger gun. They're looking for that thing. And you know, there are times in physical medicine and in medicine generally where that kind of thinking is quite appropriate. So if you break your leg, you want someone to find the break and assess it and treat it properly so that it heals up and you get back on with life. So pathoanatomical thinking is fine in the right situation. Where it doesn't work and where it's been fairly well documented that it doesn't work, and it's really without any kind of doubt, is in persistent low back pain and persistent pain in general. Once you have ruled out red flag situations, once you've ruled out any other scenarios, to keep persistently looking at a low back problem or a persistent pain problem like there's one tissue at fault, like there's something to inject, to operate on, to adjust, whatever, it just doesn't work. And it's a real failure, I think, of physical medicine that it's still a thing, it's still being practiced. There is still a lot of people that are having things done to them that are just not defendable. And it's led to pathoanatomical thinking for low back pain has led to a load of problems over the years. I mean, the cost in imaging alone would be amazing. The cost in therapies that are just ineffective, the cost in injections and surgeries, and not to mention the people that have become opioid dependent. And then you start to think about how many opioid related deaths have there been just because someone has been led to believe that there's have gone down that way of thinking. So I think it's really important that if you have a problem that you can't treat in that way, that you recognise it and you know that there's another approach, which is a more biopsychosocial approach, which isn't ignoring tissues, it's not ignoring biological systems, but it's recognising that, hey, it might not be as one-dimensional as you've got a busted disc, you've got a facet joint that's stiff or inflamed, or you're out. It just doesn't stand up. And the study or the series of papers that the Lancet released in 2018, I think it was, that was on the state of play of low back pain. That was one of their big recommendations, that, you know, that kind of biomedical thinking, that pathoanatomical approach needs to be really nipped in the bud, and a biopsychosocial approach should be the approach used for everyone with persistent low back pain. And I know, and one of the difficulties is it really does go against the principles of a bunch of people out there. It's easier to send people off for an investigation, it's easier to send people off for a surgery. However, it's just not defendable anymore in literature. And some people's livelihood is based around a pathoanatomical model of treatment, which is hard, and I totally understand that. I think, you know, for those professions it's going to get just harder and harder unless they're willing to take a long, hard look at what they're doing and start to flip their model. But that's probably a topic for another day. I just wanted to say what it is, what it means. Patho, problem, disease. Anatomy is anatomy. So a pathoanatomical approach literally is looking for a disease, a problem in a bit of anatomy. And what we know when there's persistent pain, it involves so much more than just one bit of anatomy. It involves the whole body, the whole person, their whole interaction with society. It's much bigger, much more multi-dimensional, and needs to be approached in that way too. I hope that makes sense. Please leave any comments below if you like what I've said, haven't liked what I've said, disagreed with what I've said, have got something in front of them research-wise that counters what I'm talking about. I'm interested in that too. Yeah, so any comments are most welcome, and thanks for listening. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching our video. If you liked it, we would love it if you would hit the thumbs up button below. It lets YouTube know that we know what we're talking about and that we're helping people. If you like the style of our videos and you'd like to see more of them and know when a new one is published, then just hit the subscribe button. And if you've got any thoughts or comments or questions, please add them below, because we answer all of them, and we love to hear comments because it helps us to shape the channel and find out what people want to know. It helps it to become as relevant as possible for everyone. So thank you.